CBC's Evan Dyer joins us live from Ottawa with more on this. So, Evan, refugees certainly part of Trudeau's agenda. What can you tell us about what he hopes to accomplish there and on other fronts?
Well, there are those three bilateral meetings that you mentioned with the leaders of Mexico, China, and Italy. Those, of course, are his first face-to-face meetings with world leaders, and the most important one of those would be Xi Jinping of China, who's expected to be in office for some time, somebody that Canada will be dealing with for years to come. But the G20's focus, of course, is always economic. This is an economic grouping, and this year's chairman and host is Turkey. So the Turkish Prime Minister, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, is also going to meet with Justin Trudeau. And he's made the agenda quite congenial for the Trudeau government, actually. It's the three I's, Turkey is calling it, which are investment, inclusion, which means widening the benefits of that investment to bring in more people and grow the middle class, and implementation. And this refers to implementing previous G20 reforms, such as closing tax havens and things of that nature. And if you look at the statement put out by the PMO about what he hopes to achieve, what Trudeau hopes to achieve in Turkey, you'll see that some of that language about investment and inclusion is there. Let's have a look at what they said about their goals there. They said Canada believes that investment is central to creating broad-based growth, good-paying middle-class jobs and prosperity. The Prime Minister will work closely with his counterparts at the G20 to build strong relationships, make real progress in areas of shared interests, and promote inclusive growth, that idea of inclusion. But of course now the economy, Jennifer, is not the only issue that they're going to be discussing at the G20. One, which was not on the agenda at the last G20 in Brisbane, Australia, is climate change. And it wasn't on the agenda last time around because Australia's Prime Minister at the time, Tony Abbott, is a well-known climate change denier. That did not make the United States happy. It didn't make the EU happy. They wanted to talk about that issue. Canada at the time was quite happy to leave climate change off the agenda, but not this time. And so that's certain to be something they're going to discuss in Turkey. But the meeting with the Turkish Prime Minister, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, is almost certainly also going to focus on refugees because Canada has this plan to bring 25,000 in by the end of this year. Turkey has the largest number of refugees outside of Syria, 2 million, and it almost certainly has ports and airports and so on that would be important in this evacuation. So that's also going to be a topic they're going to discuss, sure.
Evan, a very busy month for international travel for the new Prime Minister. As soon as the G20 wraps, Trudeau then heads to the Philippines for the APEC summit. What should we be watching for in terms of what's on his plate for that meeting?
Well, there he's going to be talking more about trade. Again, it's economic, but it's focused heavily on trade. And so Bill Morneau, the finance minister, is going to Turkey, but it's Krista Freeland, the international trade minister, as well as foreign minister Stefan Dion, who'll be going to the Philippines for APEC. And of course, the TPP is going to be a major topic there. In fact, the APEC membership is very similar to the TPP's. All 12 signatories to the TPP are members of APEC too and are going to be in Manila. So that will certainly be an item on the agenda. And again, climate change. You know, the U.S. and China are both there. In the last climate talks in Copenhagen, neither one of them wanted to make any major commitments. This time, that's quite different. They've agreed a major bilateral deal among themselves, and they're going to be pushing other countries in the run-up to Paris at APEC to make similar commitments. So we expect climate change to be heavily on the agenda there as well.